So you've gotten to a point where you're just bored of studying. I'm going to explain how to enjoy studying again and how to treat studying as a privilege as opposed to something we're forced to do every day. And now in this video, I'm going to make two assumptions. And that is, if you want to enjoy studying something, your studies need two different characteristics. The first is a no-brainer, and it's that your studies have to interest you. If you're studying something that is not interesting to you, it is going to be next to impossible to actually be passionate about it and actually be driven to go and do your work and do that work well. And second, your studies must feel meaningful to you. Even if class is interesting, even if you're getting a kick out of it, if you can't see what you're gonna do with this information, if it feels like you're gonna learn this and the next week it's gonna leave your brain and never be used again, you're gonna be much less motivated to actually try hard in your classes and try hard in your studies in general. Now, as for the first characteristic, where you have to actually be genuinely interested in the classes you're taking, a lot of us will try to take different classes that don't particularly interest us, and we'll try to force ourselves into being interested in these subjects. So for example, take the pre-med kid who's not really interested in being a doctor, but he feels a lot of pressure from his family. So he's taking these classes, he's taking his biology classes, he's taking his chemistry classes, and they simply do not interest him. But since he feels that he has to go down this specific path, and he feels that he has to take these specific classes, he's gonna try to force himself to enjoy them. And of course, it's good to experiment with your classes sometimes and try different things. But for the most part, if you really dislike a subject, it is next to impossible to try to force yourself to enjoy it. And especially if you are in a class that you just could not care less about, but you are surrounded by other people in that class who might actually be interested in the topic at hand, it might make you feel a whole lot more out of place. So forcing ourselves to take classes we don't really enjoy because maybe we think that the class will be an easy A, or we think we ought to know the information in this class, even if it's not really required for a major and it's just not very interesting to us. These are surefire ways to enjoy studying less and just burn out much faster. But on the other hand, you might have had the experience where you were in a class that you really enjoyed and you had to study for a test, and you were maybe studying 6 hours, and that time felt like it just flew by because you were super engaged in the material and you were just very focused and locked in on whatever you were learning because it was exciting to you. And when we're looking to reignite our passion for studying, this is the kind of feeling we're looking for. We want classes that excite you and are not just filler. And now, as I mentioned before, the second characteristic that our studies need, if we want to become genuinely passionate about them, is that you have to feel like there's some meaning behind what you're studying. And essentially what this means is we have to avoid the feeling of, I'm doing this for nothing. And this feeling can be thrown upon us in a bunch of different ways. It could be internal in that we think introspectively about whatever we're studying and we think to ourselves, why am I even doing this? Is this gonna have any kind of payoff in the future? Will this give me the career I want? Will this make me the money I want? Will this give me the satisfaction I want from a job? And it can also be external in terms of media you see online. And I think the most detrimental form of this is in the form of self-improvement content that you see all over the internet. Because especially in the realm of lifestyle and business influencers, there's constantly this idea being pushed that taking the academic route and going to college and studying for something you're passionate about is inferior to something like starting a business or working in entrepreneurship. And when listening to videos like this, it's very easy to feel like whatever you're studying for and whatever you're passionate about is somehow lesser than these other people's goals. A lot of these influencers will make you feel that you're somehow being duped by going and getting a college education and that nothing you're studying for is actually worth it. And when you listen to enough videos like this, it becomes very easy to actually believe what these people are saying. Despite some questionable business practices, we look at these online presences that we hardly know as the absolute experts and authorities on the topic of success and learning. So by excessively listening to them, it's very tempting to feel like our college educations are a waste and that everything we're studying for is meaningless. And if we actually want to be passionate about our studies again, we have to get rid of all forms of inside and outside influences that are making us feel like studying is just a waste of our time. And I think the best way to do this is to actually think for a while, maybe even journal, and just think about what your reason for studying actually is. It's very easy for you to listen to other people and have them tell you why you should be studying, the best job for you to get, the ideal way to live, but no motivation is actually gonna be as in line with what you wanna do with your life as your own motivation that you derive from just yourself and who you are. So if your brain's telling you that whatever you're studying is useless because you're not gonna make enough money, or these online influencers are telling you that what you're studying is useless because it won't give you enough clout or social credit or whatever else, then you need to look introspectively and you need to think about you and what you actually value and why studying what you are is actually important for you and whoever you want to develop yourself into and whatever you want to do after college. And this isn't a quick process. This isn't sit for 5 minutes and think, oh, okay, I know what I want to do now. You know what? I feel great about studying. This is a process that maybe even over the course of weeks or months, you might reflect on gradually. It's asking yourself, what do I want? Not what this online influencer has told me I want, not what my family members have told me the ideal path is. You have to take some time and think about you and what would make you happy and satisfied. And now this paired with the first characteristic of actually making sure that you enjoy what you're studying and that it's actually entertaining and exciting to you, I think are the two keys to actually enjoying studying again and just falling in love with the process as opposed to just constantly thinking about the results. If you can study for the sake of studying just because you're passionate about whatever you're learning, then that puts you in a very, very small subset of people. That's a very rare skill and it's very, very valuable to have. And I know we've talked about a whole lot in this video, but at the end of the day, it really boils down to study what you enjoy and create your own meaning for why you're studying. No one knows you or your goals as much as you do, so it's on you to decide why you want to study, why this is so important to you, and why you should take hours out of your day to actually focus and dedicate yourself to this goal. And now I hope these tips are useful for you and that you found some insightful information in this video. If you like videos like this on studying, productivity, mental health for college students, I really recommend you subscribe because there's going to be a whole lot more videos like this soon. But until then, I'll see you guys.